Okay, this is the Pega Sales Automation version 7.22 demo. So this is our recommended script. It's called Terry Goes to Maui. This is the Word document that's going to be provided along with the virtual machine and the video. And so this takes you through all of the steps that we execute in the demo video. And at the end of it, there is a checklist of things to make sure you have before you get going on this. So there's quite a few components here. There's sales, service, marketing, mobile, analytics, Outlook. So down here is the checklist. So this is the checklist of items to just go through, make sure you have before you start. This things around just allocating the time, deciding what content you want to use. There's a reset button that allows you to reset your data. So because the data here is date dependent, it does get a bit stale. Um, there's a FutureCast widget we use that's also date dependent. So the reset will reset some of your data. You might have to tweak a few opportunities to get it just right for your demo. And then there's some Outlook and Exchange things. So you're going to check out a test mailbox, a Terry Mason mailbox if you're using the Outlook scenarios. You're gonna have to set up your iPhone app, the custom iPhone app for your instance on your phone. Set up Touch ID. The virtual machine should have the Exchange appointment integration working out of the box. You're gonna have to install the Pega Outlook add-in into your Windows machine, Outlook 2010 or 2013 on Windows to use the Pega for Outlook add-in. And then if you're doing the late for meeting push notification, you have to have push notification working on your phone. You have to create a meeting that's a certain distance from where your demo is happening so that you'll get the push notification. And then for social activity, there's some accounts here that have Twitter feeds set up so you can show the social activity. And then if you're going to broadcast your phone on your screen, for a PC, you're going to use Reflector. For Mac, I think there's another way to do it with a cable, but you'll need Reflector on your machine for the PC. Dashboard layouts, we ship with sort of recommended layouts, but if there's certain dashboard widgets that we have that you want to show to the customers, you can change your layout and configure it to be the way you want it to be. And then setting up some contacts. So if you're going to do the contacts nearby demo, set up a few contacts within 10 miles of where your demo is going to take place. And then a couple other hints here. So just if you're going to use the view and browser for the web portal, for the Outlook to the web portal, have a session open in the background so you don't get the login screen. It's a little bit smoother in the demo. And then your Terry Mason mailbox that you're checking out is going to need to have some emails, one from Sarah Connor, one from Floyd Masters. The accounts will probably already have those emails there, but if not, then you can create them. And there's actually a site here that I use that you can use to send emails as those fake accounts so that it comes into the Terry Mason mailbox and you can use it there. So that's about it. So this is the Word document that comes with it. Again, there's a virtual machine and then there's a video that's provided that takes you through all of this step by step. So this is an exact script of the video. It's not word for the script. Some of these things are things that we recommend you say. They're not necessarily said word for word in the video, but it's pretty close. Okay, so let's start the demo. Terry is a territory development manager with U Plus Banking and Insurance. He's responsible for the account and business development functions for the Northeast. Now, Terry's trying to turn around his underperforming territory. His company recently switched from a traditional CRM to Pega Sales Automation. He's going to start his morning today on the Pega Sales Automation mobile application. He's going to open the app, use Touch ID to log in. And the first thing he wants to do is check on how he's doing this quarter. So this is called the launch pad, and in the bottom left, he has his dashboard tile. He's going to select the dashboard tile, and this is where he sees the widgets that he's configured on his dashboard. So he'll see the same widgets here as he sees on desktop. And the default widget here is what's called his Sales Futurecast. Just some other widgets available here. For example, he can see his win-loss analysis. He has visibility into his quarter-over-quarter comparison. How's he doing this quarter compared to previous quarters? And there are up to 40 widgets that he can configure that will be available on both mobile and desktop. His top 5 opportunities. But right now, what he's really interested in is how he's doing for the quarter. So he's going to go to his Futurecast. So he opens his Futurecast widget, and what he can see here is that he's at risk with his quota. So Futurecast is providing Terry with a prediction of his performance for the quarter. So it leverages Pega's artificial intelligence to predict your sales rep's ability to make their quota by weighing their pipeline with system-generated probabilities. What he's seeing here is the green is what he's closed for the quarter, the yellow is what the system thinks he's going to close, and he sees that the system is predicting that he's slightly short of his $350,000 quota. So Futurecast is telling Terry he still has some more work to do to meet his goal for the quarter. Now, fortunately for Terry, Pega Sales Automation leverages assets like Pega's Next Best Action, which uses decision strategies and deterministic rules to suggest what Terry can do to generate more sales. So you're going to switch over to his Next Best Action widget. So he sees a list here of actions he can take, such as following up on a new lead with Sarah Connor, or offering an upsell promotion to a customer, setting a data sheet for a product. So these are system-generated actions based on the opportunities in his pipeline of what he can do next to generate more sales. Now, this next best action for Sarah Connor has caught Terry's eye. He sold insurance to her in the past. This NBA was generated because Sarah is an existing customer with a high CLV, or customer lifetime value, and she's expressed interest in a new product. So from his mobile phone, he can just click on this NBA from Sarah, and he's prompted to call her. So Terry places the call to Sarah, has a good conversation with her, and then when he finishes the call, he's actually prompted to automatically log the activity. So he'll select Add Activity to log the call. Everything pre-fills for him. He just goes into the outcome field, and he can actually use voice to enter this. Sarah's lead sounds promising. She will get in touch via email soon. Save the activity, and I've easily logged that activity against the Sarah Connor contact. Now, another valuable asset to Terry in his new Pega Sales Automation is what's called Next Best Offers. Now, he has a dashboard widget for it here, the third one down. We also have it in the left navigation here, Next Best Offers. And because Terry's CRM is unified across sales, service, and marketing, he can view a list of the top marketing offers specifically for the customers in Terry's Northeast territory in sales automation. So he's seeing a prioritized list of offers with the highest propensity to generate business at the top, and he can drill into the details and convert the offer to an opportunity. So for example, here on the top for Tina Morgan, he can place a call by selecting the phone icon. Or I can easily get directions hit with the arrow icon, or I can hit the mail icon and send them an email to get in touch. Now, if I get a response or get in contact with Tina and she accepts the offer, I can drill right down into the offer here, select accept offer. This is going to automatically generate an opportunity for Tina Morgan in sales automation. However, Terry just received a push notification a couple minutes ago. He's going to go check and see what that says. So he can go to his mobile phone push notifications or go here to the notifications left navigation. And let's see, he can see here, he sees here he's running late for a meeting. So he's going to select this notification. And it looks like he's late for his lunch with the Acme team in New Haven, Connecticut. So he's got a couple options here. He can contact the attendees. I'll select contact attendees at the top. He can send an email where there's a predefined template. He can just click compose and send the email. He can go to call. He can place a call to someone on the team. He's going to go ahead and call John Brown. Okay, he places the call, lets him know he's going to be late, and then he gets directions to the meeting with the arrow icon below. Now, on his way to the meeting, he can actually go back to that appointment in sales automation and see social activity for the attendees. So he's going to select the social activity sub-tab on the meeting. And for all the attendees in the meeting, he has linked to their Twitter feeds. And he can actually see recent Twitter posts by the attendees. He can see that John Brown is finding it to be frustrating to look for an insurance policy. He can also see that Vivian Bryan is a Red Sox fan, so he'll be sure to bring up the game last night in the meeting. Terry also made a new contact in the meeting. His name's Jesse Hansen. He's a vice president, an important decision maker. And Jesse Hansen gave Terry Mason a business card. Instead of having to key that information in or forget to enter it later, he can actually use the business card scanner right on his mobile device to create that contact. Okay, so Terry goes back to his launchpad, selects new contact, hits the plus icon on the contact tile, and he just hits the scan card button on the top, capture image. He scans the business card that Jesse Hansen gave him. Everything pre-fills for him. He goes ahead and saves the contact. And he's easily entered Jesse Hansen as the contact at Acme Software. Hey, Terry finishes up his travel, heads home
And the next day, he opens up his laptop in the office. Okay, so the next day at the office, Terry opens up his laptop computer, opens Outlook, and he has a new email from Sarah Connor. So this is that next best action from yesterday. That was the lead that was identified for Terry as the next best action because she was a valuable customer. He sees that he's got an email from her. She wants to schedule a time to meet up. Now for Terry, that's the criteria for converting something from a lead to an opportunity, if he can do a face-to-face meeting. So he's going to set up a meeting and he's going to promote that lead to an opportunity in his pipeline. On the right here, he can see the contact for Sarah Connor, the leads. This is the lead from yesterday that next best action had identified. He sees all of the opportunity history for her opportunity, and he sees her account and organization. Now, if he wants to archive or associate this email to an object, he can actually do that. So this is the lead. He'll select the sync icon here. That means that email is now associated to that lead. And when he looks at that lead in sales automation, he can see the contents of that email. What he wants to do now is promote that lead to an opportunity. So he's going to go into the portal, view in browser. This brings him directly to the lead in the sales automation web portal, and he can actually promote it right here from a lead to an opportunity. Convert it to an existing contact. He wants to create an opportunity. He's going to create a new opportunity and fill in all the details. Okay, for now, that's all he's going to fill in. He's going to submit. And here he has the opportunity that was automatically created from converting the lead. And one of the first things you'll see when you open an opportunity in Pega Sales Automation is called Opportunity Insights, where we're leveraging the Pega platform's artificial intelligence capabilities to predict the likelihood that the deal is going to move to the next stage, the likelihood that the deal will be won, whether the close date that the sales are entered is accurate, and also we have next best action, where we're using 16 predictors to help guide the rep to the next best thing to do on each opportunity. And below is where we're leveraging Pega's case management capabilities for an opportunity. So opportunity is like a case. It progresses through stages. We have stages. We have steps. You can configure your sales methodology as a case. So this is where you can have a sales methodology or a sales process. You can define what your steps are in each stage, and then you can put flows behind those steps so you can execute those. So here you're doing a determined time frame, for example, where we have a explanation of what to do, and you populate that field, and it guides you through the qualification process. There's also a three-step process. So if you click on the qualification header, it'll actually take you through all three steps. Now you get to determine time frame step, then you get to the stakeholder step, where you can enter the contacts for that account into that opportunity as stakeholders. So you're actually adding these contacts to the opportunity. And then the last one is determine the budget. So what's the amount for the how much is the customer looking to spend? What's the amount for the deal? And you'll see once we click submit here that all three are checked off, just like in a standard case. And then he can go ahead and move on to the next stage. It's also very simple to change the steps. So if you have flows defined and you want to swap them in and out, you can actually have a sales ops person just go into Designer Studio, drop a step, add a step, and adjust your sales methodology as you go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change the stage on this one from qualification to analysis since I finished the qualification process. Okay, we've moved to the analysis stage. The probability of winning has increased slightly. Then I'm going to go to my next best action here. So the next best actions, again, are showing me for this opportunity, what are the next steps for the salesperson to take. So for example, it's alerting me that there's a service case for this opportunity. So Acme for this account. So Acme Software has a service case that's open. I can drill into it and actually see what's going on. And because I have this unified view between sales, service, and marketing, I have direct access to the case. So it looks like service actually made an offer, and Sarah accepted the offer. So they actually made a credit card offer to her on the banking side of the business, and she accepted that credit card offer. And then down here, if I add competitors or products, that's actually going to trigger NBAs too. So if I add a competitor a certain competitor, it's actually going to recommend that I read a competitive battle card for that competitor. Or if I add a certain product, it'll recommend that I read a white paper around that product and get familiarized with that product and how to sell it. And then drive digital activity is an indicator that there's not enough email or activity creation for this customer. And so it's prompting you to create an outreach to that customer. And in this case, it actually takes you to what's called local campaigns. So from here, I can create local campaigns where a sales rep can send campaigns that are created by the marketing team to their customers. So I can actually send um, a campaign to people with a certain CLV value, people from a certain company. However, I want to segment my contacts, I can do that and offer the campaign to them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to create a new campaign. I know Sarah has a high CLV, so I have this new an umbrella offer for B2B customers. I'm just going to go ahead and create that. So let's see. I'll do a umbrella for high CLV. Create this campaign information. Umbrella offer for top B2B customers. Contacts. Here's where I can do sort of a mini segmentation of my contacts. So I'm just going to take all my contacts with a CLV over 400, let's say. CLV value greater than 400. Apply that filter. I can see Sarah's one of those. I'll select all. Add selected. Scroll down here. I can see the ones that were added. There's Sarah Connor right there. Submit that. Okay, step 3 is engagement steps. This is where I can actually see the offer and the emails that come when you accept, reject, or no response. I'm not going to change any of those here, but I will preview them. So let's just preview the offer itself. Okay, this is the umbrella offer that's going to go out to Sarah and the other high CLV contacts. Close. And if I want to have an approval, I can. I don't have a approval requirement on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch. So I click launch. I can run it now or at a specific time. I'm going to run it now. I click submit. And I've sent this campaign, so it's running. So when I go back to my campaign dashboard, I can see this one's running. And I can see for my latest campaign, how many were delivered, opened, and clicked. None so far in this. And historically, how many were opened and clicked for all of my historical campaigns. These are the last 5 campaigns that I sent. So we can see here another place where we have unified integration between marketing and sales. Terry's able to leverage all of those offers and assets in Pega Marketing and deploy them to his sales contacts. Okay, so Terry's going to go back to his deal for Sarah Connor. He's going to drill into the customer and see what kind of insights he can find there. So in the organization, Acme Software, he has a screen here called Engagement Profile. So Engagement Profile is the true unified view across all of CRM. So he sees any recent interactions across any channels, recent service cases, contacts, the hierarchy of the organization, sales activities, and marketing engagements, as well as his opportunities and leads. Now, as well for contacts, if he goes into the Sarah Connor contact, he also has the engagement profile. The contact level engagement profile shows account summaries, cases, interactions, marketing engagements, community posts, leads, opportunities, and sales activities. So again, he has that full unified view for both his contacts and the organizations that they work for. And then lastly, we have what's called customer movie. So for every contact, there's a customer movie that's basically a timeline of everything that's happened with that customer. So we can see the umbrella offer that we just sent to her recently. And as you scroll down through this, you can see everything from calls to leads to service interactions. The whole timeline of activity with this person is all recorded here and very easy to see on a timeline. Okay, so Terry's going to head back to his dashboard. He hasn't looked at it since he was on his phone yesterday. And he'll see here that he sees the same widgets that he saw on his mobile phone yesterday. So top left is the Futurecast. That's the default widget he saw on mobile. And then he sees the same widgets that he saw through his mobile app, but he sees them in a 3x4 grid. So this is where he can configure the layout of his dashboard. He sees here his Futurecast. He's getting a little closer to the system predicting that he's going to make quota. Before he was at I think 319, so he's getting closer based on the activity he's done in the past couple days. Um, and going down here, we have some other metrics. For example, conversions by stage. What stages are his opportunities progressing through in the last 6 months, and where are they falling out of the pipeline? Customer requests. Close and commit is like Futurecast, but it's just using the commit deals. His pipeline. And then what he can do is he can actually change what he sees in his dashboard. So up here in the top right, he can click the gear icon. And this is where he can configure his dashboard. So we have the concept here of slots and widgets. You can see within each slot there are different widgets. If he wanted to come down here, for example, and say he wanted to remove customer requests and then add another widget, and let's see, he'll add the lead conversions by stage and publish. And then when he publishes the change, he can see down here in the bottom that he's substituted out that one widget for another. And then when he goes into mobile, it's going to adjust. So it's going to show him, you know, top to bottom, left to right. So he'll see these widgets in this order on his mobile device. Okay, so now let's switch gears. Let's log out as Terry and log in as Sarah Kendall, his manager. So Sarah is the sales manager for North America. She manages Terry and 9 other reps. So when she logs in, she sees the sales manager dashboard. And the sales manager dashboard shows her for her reps. So she can see pipeline, she can see completed activities, pipeline across her whole territory, and she can see a lot of the same widgets as the reps, but she can actually filter them by person. So she can pick a person in this drop down and see the data just for them, or she can see it across her whole team. So she's seeing Futurecast for her whole team. So what she sees here, she's checking in on Terry. He's got a healthy pipeline. He's been very active, lots of phone calls. She's seen how she can help him out because he's a little behind on his quota. So she goes to what's called engagement maps. In engagement maps, she can see a matrix of customers and products and where the business is penetrated. So let's see, we'll do by product group and we'll do life and annuity. And let's do it for Terry Mason. Okay. So here she can see that for Terry Mason's accounts, there's a lot of penetration in life insurance. But for example, here there's some white space. So for First West Insurance, most of these other accounts that have bought whole or term have also bought universal. In this case, it looks like no one has pursued universal insurance for First West. So that's a white space. Terry has access to this too. So Terry could come here, identify white space, and then pursue that opportunity. So Sarah's just going to drill into First West Insurance, and then she'll go over here into Pulse, and she'll just ping Terry, and she'll say, Terry, check out the white space here in engagement maps. Okay, now another asset Sarah has at her disposal is the forecast. She'll go here, select forecast. Terry has access to this too, but she can look at the forecast for all of North America because she is the sales manager for North America. So she sees by forecast category all of her revenue. She can click these numbers. She sees all the opportunities behind the numbers. She can see recent changes, so she can see what is it about that number that's changed in the last 90 days. So it'll actually show her exactly what changed and why that number changed, or whether it was a deal was closed, a deal was lost, a deal was moved, a date was changed. It shows you all the reasons why that number shifted recently. And then she can also just go into Terry's territory, which is North America, or Northeast, and she can apply that. And she can look at Terry's deals and see how Terry is. So it looks like his pipeline is pretty healthy in the first couple of quarters. It's looking a little light in Q3. So those are some of the examples of the tools that managers and reps can use to analyze their pipeline and identify opportunities. Okay, so let's fast forward a couple weeks. Terry Mason's been using his new Pega Sales Automation mobile app, his next best action, his next best offer for a while, and he gets a new email from Floyd Masters. So Floyd Masters, this was actually an next best action lead. Floyd had a high CLV. The lead was escalated in his next best action as the next best thing to do. He converted that lead to an opportunity, and now Floyd is getting back to him just a couple weeks later. Terry can see the deal here, guaranteed universal life. Floyd sends an email saying that he's ready to go ahead and send a proposal. So that means that this deal, because it's with an existing customer, high CLV customer, has moved from qualification all the way to the proposal stage quickly. So Terry's going to open up that opportunity with view in browser. He sees the opportunity here. It's in qualification stage, and it looks like it's now authorized to go to the proposal stage because they're asking for a proposal. And before he makes that change, he's going to go to his opportunity landing page and take a look at his pipeline. So when he goes to the opportunity landing page, he sees a Kanban view of his opportunities. So he sees all the stages and all the deals in those stages, and he can actually search on them. So he can sort on the amount, the close date. But now he just wants to look at the P Adams deals in his territory, and he sees here's that guaranteed universal life for P Adams. He can actually just take that and drag that over to the proposal stage like this, drop it, and everything recalculates, and he's changed the stage of that deal. Now that that deal is in proposal, he drills down into the details. He sees it now has a 38% likelihood to move to the next stage, 33% likelihood to close for a big deal. When he goes back to his dashboard, he can see how that has affected his FutureCast. And he now sees for the first time this quarter that the FutureCast is actually saying he's on track with quota. So because that deal progressed quickly, it was a good sized deal, the weighting of that deal in his FutureCast pushed him over the line. So now, according to the artificial intelligence of Pega Sales Automation, Terry is most likely going to go to Hawaii. He's got about 5 more weeks left in the quarter to close some more deals and get to his quota of 350K.